Hello and welcome to the Arcade Football Podcast, and it's our final episode for the summer break, the season finale. Sad times in the studio.
Indeed it is.
I'm Carl Dixon, joined in the studio by Matt Thowney.
Hello.
And Stuart Irvine.
Hello.
And on the phone we have got Matt Toy.
Hello.
So we're all here, the originals are back for the final episode of the season finale, as I say, and we've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Very much a lot to talk about. There's transfers, World Cup. We've got the next game of Hungry Suarez to review. It's
going to...
Stuart is starring.
Ask me later.
So, one place I want to start. Breaking news this morning, reported by BBC Radio Solent in our city. Southampton defender and England defender Luke Shaw is set to sign for Man United after a miracle. That's what he says.
It's a good move for him, in my opinion, because you got to think, if you're playing at a club like Manchester United, I mean, you're going to get, everyone's going to have their eyes on you as a left back now. So if he plays well, he'll definitely get in the England squad every single time.
Well, I think he's the next England left back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He is, sure.
The only way that could scupper his plans is, one, if he doesn't play for United week in, week out.
Yeah.
Which, if they've kept Evra as it was mentioned before we went on air, then he may not get in straight away. He may be a bench player. But two, if Kieran Gibbs is playing week in, week out for Arsenal and gets some good form, he may come back and out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you got a 2-on-2 race, because Leighton Baines probably won't be England left back for the
I think Euros 2016. He's
he might be in the squad, but I don't think he'll be the
go,
first
but
choice.
for experience.
Yeah,
that's all.
And like Ashley Cole may should have, if you ask some people, not me, but still.
I think it really would have mattered, even if you went or not. To be honest, would he have played?
No.
Sadly, so.
So sure, it's a huge loss for Southampton. We spoke about this a few times, but how can they replace Shaw? What left backs are there out there?
Well, you've got Ward and Prowse. I know he's not a...
he's a centre midfielder. He's
a centre midfielder, but he can play at left back.
Okay, right.
He does have experience at left back, so...
apparently, and don't trust the source here, because we don't know the actual value of this deal. We know United rejected a bid of 27 million last month, so we know it's at least probably 30. Someone's saying it's a $55 million move, which probably I'm not quite sure, but it'll probably go down to
it works out. If it's a $55 million move, it works out around 40-ish million.
Which backs up the claims which a few of the papers were reporting yesterday, now that he's played for England in the World Cup, that Saints want 40 million. It's a huge amount of money for United to go for.
I'm not going to lie. Luke Shaw, don't get me wrong, he's had a great season in Southampton. Well done to him.
He's not worth 40 million.
He's not. No player is worth that much money at that age. He's not that good yet. I mean,
Rooney went for less.
He went for 27 million to Manchester United, record signing.
Yeah, but back then, I think back then, no one would dare try and put like 30-40 million on players, did they? Like properly.
Well, even 25 million.
Kaka and Ronaldinho and that.
25 million at that time was a lot of money.
Yeah.
But these days, it's like 25 million for like Fernandinho. Oh, all right, no, that's fine.
Well, I'm pretty sure that if it goes through, it will smash United's transfer record, which at the moment, I'm sure it's Berbatov, 30.1 million or something like that.
But only downside I see to it is the guys.
Or is it Mata?
I don't know. I can't remember
I think
the
it was Mata.
No, it's Mata. Yeah.
But I'm sure if it is the 40 million, it will smash the record. And 40 million for an 18-year-old that may not play first.
They've got to play him. He's a bit like Fernando Torres, in my opinion. He's got to play now.
Stuart?
Yeah, no, I just think was it Southampton trying to up 40? I think that it's like a ploy to try and they really don't want to sell him, and they just want to try and see if Man United will.
Yeah, and all of a sudden United gone, all right, 40 million, that sounds fair.
Damn.
Oh. Although, fair play to Southampton. I mean, you're getting 40...
If it does go through for about 35-40 million, that is some great dealership by Southampton.
And then, if Lallana leaves at the reported price of around 30-35 million, all of a sudden, Southampton have got 80 million to spend, and you're like, all right, fair, good business.
I think he's one player I don't want to leave, that I don't want to leave Southampton because of one thing.
Sure, Lallana.
mainly Lallana, because he's the one player left from from Premier League teams really that has been at their club forever, and will be like a one-man team.
It's a dying.
You get Gerrard, but then he's going to retire soon.
It's a
Lampard's
dying
left.
It's a dying breed, isn't it?
It's a money game. Football is a business.
Yeah,
at the end of the
and
day.
I would say dying breed. It's pretty much
It's dead. Yeah.
And that's why I want Lallana to try and stay, because I think that's his kind of club.
I've got a feeling the only way we'll get him now if he tries to force his way out, because I don't think we're prepared to spend.
Well, I think he does want to join Liverpool, but he's very reluctant to throw a transfer request in because he saw the damage it's done to other people's careers.
Yeah.
And Southampton, they're passionate fans, but I doubt they'll be forgiving fans.
I think he should just. I think he should just stay at Southampton for another year and see if he can try and keep up the good form.
All the punters don't want him to go.
You've also got to look at it from this perspective. If Lallana leaves for Liverpool, who does he replace in the Liverpool starting lineup?
Because Coutinho's been fantastic this season.
Good shot.
Exactly.
And Coutinho hasn't started a lot either.
It's good.
It will be Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
I think we're trying to, because we're doing. I think we said it on earlier podcast about we're trying to buy a team that can win the Premier League, not a team that can.
Well, yeah, you need players that if Sterling isn't playing well, Lallana can come in. You want Lallana and Sterling fighting neck and neck for that right wing place. I'm pretty sure Brendan Rodgers would take both. And hey, if one sits on the bench, then it'll strive him to be better because they're both really determined people. It's not the only piece of Man United transfer news in the past week. Well, there's two, in fact, extra. They've also signed Atletico Bilbao midfielder Ander Herrera, which is a deal that was close to be going through in January. Didn't.
So wasn't it summer as well? Like last summer as well?
Yeah, it's been close a few times. It's finally gone through. Is it the right move for the player, considering he's leaving a club, Bilbao, that are growing in Spain, compared to going to a club in United who are on the fall?
It's an interesting one, because as we were discussing, you'd want to go to United to say you're a United player, because Matt was saying earlier, it is one of the biggest names in English football.
It's the biggest name in English football.
But as the player, you've just left a side which, as you say, is growing in Spain and also got Champions League football.
Mm. It's a difficult one for the player, but Louis van Gaal, great first signing for him, really. You know,
yeah.
Considering he didn't go in for Fabregas in the end, and he's chosen Ander Herrera. Is it a lot of money again? As we say, 24. He's not really in the Spanish side, although I know it's difficult to get in.
He's only been capped at under 21. He's yet to make his full international.
Actually, would you say it's hard to get into the Spain international squad? You look at this World Cup.
Well, it may not be. It may not be from now. Yeah.
From now on, that backfield's got to change.
But we know Bilbao did reject a £29 million bid, so it's got to be 30. As we say, over 30 million again. It's a lot of money to spend on someone.
So if
that's unproven in the Premier League.
So let me get this straight. So Man United could actually spend around about
60 million
already.
Well,
Wow.
we knew they were going to spend big money because they had to.
I'm sorry, but I'm just saying here that wasn't it in April when just before I think Moyes was sacked, they were saying they need all this money to get big players in. I'm sorry, Luke Shaw and Herrera. Okay, Herrera may be good and Luke Shaw may be good, but they're not massive players. They spent 60
They're not
million
big names, but they are young players. That's the key.
What about Marco Reus? They should be spending that much on him.
Yeah.
Not 30 million on Luke Shaw.
We knew they'd spend big money. These two players for the 60 million that could it be? It's a big risk for Van Gaal.
Yeah.
Straight off the bat as well. It's not like he's come in and he's got some experience and he's like the United fans are behind him. You're like,
I don't think United fans are behind him at all. I think they're not going to be behind him until he gets three straight wins in the bag or something like that. Gets a run going.
Well, it's been 2 in, 1 out at United in the past week. It's not a big sort of move, but Alexander Butner has left United, gone to Dynamo Moscow, I believe. Once I get it up.
What, the Croatian side?
The Russian side.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Dynamo Moscow, yeah, that's Croatian, isn't it?
No,
well, if the Uruguay was a civil war, Russians might take over.
But he's not someone who's been given a huge chance at United, because when he has played, he showed promise and he showed ability. But
now I would have, if I was Louis van Gaal, who had Butner because Butner's Dutch, isn't he? So
Yes.
he's seen him at international level. Surely to sweeten the Luke Shaw deal, if they really wanted him, say yes, we'll take Luke Shaw for 20 million, but you get Butner as a replacement.
see my
It would have
taking
made
that.
more sense to sort of try and sweeten the deal,
See-
rather than you trying to spend that 30 million on a replacement. We'll give you him plus cash.
my question is how much better can Luke Shaw be than Butner? I know he's probably got 4 or 5 years. Butner's 25, as I say. But if Butner was playing week in, week out at a side like Southampton, would he be?
Yeah.
Would Luke Shaw?
I think his kind of club, Butner's, is someone like Spurs, that kind of side. That
He-
would have been a great.
He
signing
need
for
he
them.
needs somewhere where he'll play in week in, week out. At United, he didn't get the opportunity when possibly he should have done, and this is why they're spending 40 million on a left back.
Yeah, they're doing what Chelsea in some way they've done. They
And that's
they
never
spend,
good.
They spend loads of money on one player when they've already got someone there. Like we bought, I know like Azpilicueta, he's had a great season, but we always had Ryan Bertrand there.
Mm.
Well, you've got to think, we bought Azpilicueta 2 years ago as a replacement as Ivanovic at right back.
I thought
And
we
it's
And
just so happens
Azpilicueta's
that
playing
he's
left
got
back
left
now. It's a bizarre one. From one side of Manchester to the other, City have started their bid to regain their title again, to keep it. They've signed Brazilian midfielder Fernando from FC Porto, which we knew was coming. It's been talked about many.
another good
times.
player. He's
26 years old. Agreed a fee of around 12 million. See, this is the thing that gets me. Fernando is probably a much better player than Ander Herrera, and he's going for half the price.
Do you think the wages are huge though? Like the wage is huge, but the price doesn't show that.
Well, City confirmed the deal yesterday on the Thursday, although the length of the contract was not discussed, so we don't know how long he signed for. And his wages aren't known, so I don't know. You could be right there, but the fact that he's going for half the price of what Herrera will be going to United for, it's sort of, I don't know. It's just, you want to laugh at United in that sense. You know what I mean? It's Liverpool and Andy Carroll all over again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've told you once, a thousand times, we were desperate.
It's City's second signing, so as we mentioned last week, Bakary Sagna. They're going for the more experienced heads. I know Fernando's 26 and he's not like over
But he's
30.
been in the
But
Champions
he's
League.
been in the Champions League. He's won league titles in Portugal. He's someone that will improve on an already amazing side.
Would
Is he a replacement for Yaya Toure, maybe?
Possibly.
Yeah,
Possibly.
yeah, I could see that happening.
I mean, I haven't watched the guy play too much, so I don't know if he's more of a
But doesn't he
nod.
play in the same position as
They play-
Fernandinho?
Well, yeah, they play centre mid, defensive,
Is he like a-
whatever you want to say.
Could you have one like for sort of, because they're still, maybe
They
like
have-
Champions League, maybe?
Well, yeah, they have been missing a sort of Nigel de Jong character since he left, so I don't know whether he will play similar to them, but they're bringing in another centre midfielder with Jack Rodwell there, Javi Garcia there. Yaya
I don't
Toure
think
has the
Rodwell
space
will
to
be
push
there
it.
too much longer, though.
No,
Yeah, I
probably
can see
not,
Rodwell
but
going this summer, and I hope he does.
for his sake, definitely.
Rodwell and Sinclair need to leave, because there was a time when they were both tipped for England, but City bought them too soon when they weren't really proven, because Sinclair left Swansea, which was stupid in my eyes, and Rodwell left Everton far too soon.
Well, as you say, Rodwell left Everton. Someone who won't be leaving Everton, he's right back Seamus Coleman, signed a new 5-year deal.
Good,
Good to him.
good.
He's staying at Goodson Park until 2019. He was in the PFA Team of the Year this year, scored 7 goals from right back, which is really impressive. He's someone that, man, we wish he was English.
Oh God, oh yes.
There's a lot of players
Why
in the
did we
Premier
have
League
to?
who wish
Why,
were
we
English.
could have had. If he was English, Johnson and Walker would not even get a look in. That's how.
But you
how
know,
things-
Coleman is someone that United, Chelsea, for example, if they're in need of a right back, the top teams will have been looking at him. For Everton to sign him in a 5-year deal as well, it's not like 2-3 years, 5 years.
He must have. He loves the club.
Well, yeah, he came through the
Obviously,
youth. We
so,
get
yeah.
that, but it's a really good success
Mm,
for Roberto Martinez, and
yeah.
now he has to take this on because they've lost a star striker. Will Barry sign? You know, it's all up for grabs at Everton. But it's Hull that have signed, are close to signing 2 players, it seems. They have officially signed Jake Livermore, broke the transfer record, 8 million. He's someone that was on loan at Hull.
Yeah, and he had a good season.
And he's had a very good season. And him and Huddleston in the centre of midfield have brought together a good partnership.
And he's already there, Huddleston. He wasn't a loanee. He signed for them, didn't he? So
Good business for Steve Bruce and the FA Cup finalists.
Yeah.
So
I think that with them two in the centre of midfield, you can see him having another good season.
Yeah, I'm hoping they have another good season.
You need an experienced
really-
centre back, though.
If this is the 4th time in a year that their transfer record has been broken. It was originally broken when Tom Huddleston joined, and then Nikita Jelavic came in, and then Shane Long was signed for 7 million, and now Jake Livermore for 8.
But the question is, what was their first, what was their record before all these signings came in?
I don't know.
£50.
They are all so close, it seems, have had a bid in excess of £6 million for Scotland international Robert Snodgrass accepted by Norwich.
It's great.
Snodgrass
That'd be
looks
great.
like he's
Great sign
Hull.
for them if they get him.
And
I rate him a lot.
a whole side with Snodgrass, Long, Jelavic, Huddleston, Livermore, George Boyd.
You got to see him having a good season.
But
The only thing that will let them down is having to play Thursday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Newcastle couldn't cope with it.
Swansea couldn't.
Swansea couldn't cope with it. Maybe Hull. If they're bringing in enough players to make a decent squad, not the first team, a squad,
Yeah.
they may be able to accept
Yeah.
it. Steve Bruce is experienced enough to know what he's doing in that sense.
Yeah.
There are a few other little bits we wanna map up. Liam Ridgewell. He's joined MLS club Portland Timbers after his deal at West Brom ran out. Surprising move for him considering he's a Midlands boy. Came through at Villa, went to Birmingham, then Albion. Left the country
I think
altogether.
the Midlands just threw him out because they realised he's a bit of a tag-along.
Yeah. I don't blame them. Also, Derby County have rejected a bid from Burnley for their midfielder Craig Bryson. £750,000. Bryson's had a very good year at Derby.
£750,000.
Yeah, it shows the difference, doesn't it? And the final thing, which Stuart will be very interested in, Chris Boyd has signed a 1-year contract at Rangers and he's back at the Ibrox.
I am so happy right now. I'm not going to get Kellyman and then we've got Boyd back. It's bring on the championship title. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
Before we leave the transfers, I don't know if you guys heard, but Swansea apparently close to signing Bafétimbi Gomez from Lyon.
yeah, this is true because Gomez is his contract's run out. He's on a free. They've beaten Newcastle, it seems, to the signing of him.
Newcastle won it for ages.
And Swansea have come in at the last minute. Considering they will now have him, maybe Boney if he doesn't leave for Arsenal, and Michu. That's a deadly strike force. Also, you've still got the Lloyd Dyers, the Wayne Routledges, the Pablo Hernandez.
If they can get De Guzman on the permanent, I think they could. That would be
it's
a
a
great
chance for
sign.
This all this talk about is it all these great Premier League squads, right? It makes it could next season be better than the season we just had.
Well,
It's got
we're
potential.
talking about all these amazing squads, and then you look at sides like Villa, who have signed Joe Cole.
No, I wasn't having a dig at Villa. I'm just, we can if you want.
You can. It's okay.
Anyway,
So that's all the transfer news gossip we've got. We will maybe look at the gossip column later on in the show. We've got to move on to the World Cup, and we've got to move on to what will be the biggest story of possibly the year. Luis Suarez. And I mean, I'll explain it for people that haven't really heard. I don't know how you haven't heard. He's been everywhere. Luis Suarez has been banned for 4 months of playing time, including training, as well as 9 international games. And these international games don't include friendlies, 9 international competitive games.
and why is this?
For biting Giorgio Chiellini in a World Cup game on Tuesday against Italy. again, he's bit someone. I mean,
His third biting incident, his third time.
He
Like,
wanted
Yeah.
dessert. Look, let's just give him a bit of credit, all right?
well, originally he was banned in Holland for biting someone.
Yeah.
Then, as we know, he bit Branislav Ivanovic, and now he's done it on the World Cup stage.
I think we've got to hand this bit over to Stu and see what he thinks of this as a Liverpool fan.
Before you do, some news to come in. BBC are reporting that Barcelona are still keen on signing Suarez. Now, just to add that to you. And
Okay, just
Chiellini's come out and said he believes the 4-month ban from football is a bit excessive. He's defended Suarez.
Dude, he
Why?
just tried to kill you.
why? You saw the bite marks in his shoulder. It's like, how can you defend someone if you
Ivanovic
just
come out and
bit
say he
your
doesn't hold
arm?
anything against him.
Yeah. Stuart, we'll let you give your view as a Liverpool fan, but
I mean, I admit on the previous podcast, I was like, the thought of selling Suarez was like, nah, it won't happen. Now I think it might be just cut our losses and sell him. Because once again he's I read this article about it, and so I know one player's bigger than the club, and he's gonna, and it's
he's
like,
going to tarnish the reputation.
yeah, I
That's
mean,
the problem.
He's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, he is a disgrace.
Well,
I
speaking
think
of reputations, betting firm 888 have already just dropped him from their
They have.
labels. It's
They
like,
have,
that we're
yeah.
not having him endorsing us. We've dropped him.
I've got an interesting thing. I heard this is where I work at the moment. Someone in my pub put on a bet of Suarez to bite someone in this World Cup, 175 to 1. He walked in and bought so many shots off.
How much did he win?
Someone in Norway
he
did
put a
that.
tenner on it and he won 175 to 1. There you go.
Oh man, it's a bizarre story. It really is. Again, and I mean, it's a phrase I've thought through about a lot of the times for Liverpool and FIFA. It's 3 bites and you're out, and it's just.
Well, people have been arguing that the ban's either too short or too long. Well, you've got to look at it this way. The ban will cover a bit of pre-season, so yes, he won't be fully fit, but he does pretty much get a month of just where he wasn't going to do anything, just doing nothing anyway.
Well, no. Well, he doesn't get to play in any of the pre-season games. Doesn't get to train until October. Someone that hasn't trained for 4 months. Yes, he may do personal training, but someone that hasn't trained with the squad for 4 months, he probably won't come back until January. I don't know
Well,
if FIFA have thought that through, but
I was going through Twitter earlier just to see what other people were saying about this, and someone brought up that if you bring a pyrotechnic flare into a ground, you get a 3-year ban from football. Luis Suarez bites his third opposition player, 4-month ban.
see, I think personally, because it was on a world stage, maybe the 4 months for a club side, that's fair. Because he wasn't in a Liverpool show. I know he has done it before, but for me, on a world stage, international, I believe he should have been banned from international football.
Yeah.
Personally,
I'm sorry, you can't.
if you're
do
going to
that.
bite when you're playing for your country, and you bite someone playing for your country, you show no respect to the country. I don't think you should deserve to play.
But you got to
for your
think,
country.
this is the worst thing, I think, is he's had a great season, right? So that means...
Oh, he's been
that
the
means-
best player
that
in
means
England this
young,
season.
That means
Yeah, no doubt.
That means youngsters look up to him, yeah? They see him do that, they'll think, so if I do that, that means I'll score more goals. No.
See, I genuinely believe there is something wrong with him in his head.
He needs help.
This is not
He needs help.
not digs or anything like that. The third time he saw the repercussions of his bite against Ivanovic. To do it on a world stage. I know he was banged about a bit in the game, but he's an international striker. That's going to happen. I think there might be something genuinely wrong with him.
Well, someone brought up that like kids that had been like adopted like in orphanages, yeah. Apparently they would bite each other when they're younger because that's what kids do at that kind of age. And do you think he's from an orphanage and just slowly come up and he's still got this habit?
Well, I don't know his
I
personal
don't
history,
know.
but
yeah.
No, but
It's-
no,
it's-
he still has his parents, because
yeah.
I was watching a TV show before the World Cup, which was sort of going through all the South American countries, and they interviewed his mum and dad.
All right.
It's just it is
It's very strange. It is very strange how this happened.
He's also been fined 65 grand 680, but
Is that it?
that won't even
Has he got to
hurt
buy?
his wallet.
Is that
Has
it?
he got to buy a new
That's it, yeah.
Italy shirt for the defender? I mean, just check it. I mean,
What, six-
Pay for shoulder surgery.
yeah.
I
I tell you what, I do like
shouldn't
what
have
some
fined,
of like
there's
the
no point.
companies have gone on about. They're
Because
sort of like making the most of it. Specsavers have joined the banter, just saying, "Oh, he should have gone to Specsavers." And Puma, who made the Italy kits, who says, "I can't blame Luis Suarez for biting. Anyone would look good in this kit."
See,
I was like, "What?"
Stuart, I know you were trying to say something.
Yeah, no, it's just finding him. It seems pointless when how much money he gets,
Yeah, it does.
and it's just if you're gonna hit him where it hurts.
Well, I mean, you say that, right? It might actually hurt him by the time October comes around because he won't earn any money until October. He won't train. So Liverpool don't have to pay him.
I wouldn't.
Well, they won't because he's not playing. He's not training.
Because
he's not doing anything for the club.
I think I saw like the time he's out is going to cost us like I think it's like 1.8 or something.
Yeah. So
Like £2 million.
He's not going to get paid anything
I just
for 4 months.
I refuse to pay him. I would.
I mean, yes, from what he's earned in the past, he should be fine. But you hear about footballers getting themselves in debt. Brad Friedel was someone that got himself in debt. Money-wise, it might actually hurt Suarez for once. What got me though, and this is possibly the most bizarre thing about it. Afterwards, he held his teeth like he hurt them.
And what did he say afterwards? He said something about his eyes or something, didn't he?
I know
he
in
said he
the
made contact with his eye.
Yeah.
I know in the interview afterwards he said this is just one of those things that happen on the football pitch. I don't think people need to go over and on about it. It's just something that happens. I did nothing wrong. I mean, I don't know what game he's playing, but that's not what happens in football. The Uruguayan media, interestingly enough, have they've attacked the English media and the Italian media for saying they're having a smear campaign and a hate campaign against Luis Suarez. I'm sorry, Uruguayan media, but this is the third time he's bit someone. It's not like it's an elbow or something. He's bit him. You know, it's assault.
No one likes our media, to be honest.
Yeah, we don't even like our own media.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I mean,
To be honest, no disrespect to Liverpool as a club, but I'm really surprised they're still keeping him. Because I know it's two totally different incidents, but when Chelsea found out that Adrian Mutu had been doing illegal substances, we
Mourinho got rid of him,
straight
didn't he?
away.
Mourinho literally went up to Abramovich and just said, "Get rid of him."
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just said
Didn't
get
want
rid of him straight away.
Yeah.
How can Liverpool keep? I'll be very surprised if Liverpool keep a player who's bitten someone twice while he's been on the books of their club.
Very much. Barcelona
This is-
still want him now. This is the
This
thing.
is where Brendan Rodgers, in my opinion, has to decide what he wants to do with him. Because the owners can only go to a certain extent. Brendan Rodgers, at the end of the day, is in charge of that squad.
So now you say that. I don't think it's much to do with Rodgers. If Barcelona come in for him with the deals that's been offered,
Oh, yeah.
he's gone. He's gone.
you got to look past it. It's not about him on the pitch as well as the image. It's the
imagery. On
Yeah,
for the
because
club.
because since he's the racism thing about he done it against Ivanovic, it's tarnished our reputation.
Yeah,
And I think we should just sell him, get some players that actually done.
But it could be a
human
merchandise
flesh.
deal. You
And-
could bring a merchandise deal. Bring out the Suarez mouth guards. You know,
Have you
and
seen Suarezing has started trending?
If-
Now
if-
people
if
are like
it-
finding the Adidas picture of Suarez and shoving their arm in it. Like Chris Kamara's done it, and it's like Suarezing is now a big thing in Brazil.
but another thing that came out in the World Cup, like Suarez, Van Persie came out after his diving header in the goal. Pictures of people just lying on the floor with their arms out in a Superman pose, like Van Persie scored. And there was one picture, Van Persie's 93-year-old granddad took a picture of himself, put it on Twitter of him Van Persieing on the coffee table.
Oh, that's just brilliant.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
So we spoke about Suarez in the World Cup. Let's speak. The group stage is officially over now,
Yeah.
and there have been some big teams dropped out. We will speak about these surprise packages that have gone through, but start with.
Can I just say, this has been the highest scoring group stage ever in the World Cup.
it may
Past
well,
100, isn't it?
unless the knockouts suddenly become boring, it probably will be the most
Yeah.
exciting and possibly the best World
I
Cup in
don't see
history.
how it can get lower, to be honest with
No.
you.
Start with yesterday, Group G, Portugal, Ghana, USA and Germany. Germany through, top of the group, as we mentioned. USA through. We will speak about the teams that got through, but Portugal have dropped out at the group stage. I know we predicted that Portugal may well drop out, but it's still a big shock.
They finished well. I mean, to be honest, they were lucky against Ghana to even get that win when you
Yeah.
think about it.
They were lucky against USA to get a draw.
And they were dreadful against...
They were dreadful against Germany. It's no surprise on results.
I
but
think Ronaldo is that much of a liability for Portugal that he gets it. If he was it because he had an injury, didn't he?
he did
So-
going into the tournament. Yeah.
So if he didn't have that injury, I generally think maybe they could have put up a better threat. But that's about it. I don't think they would have never finished top of that group.
If you look at the World Cup on the whole, people are saying, "Oh, this could be Messi or Ronaldo's year."
It's
if
Messi's
you compare
year.
the two teams, Messi around him has Aguero, Di Maria, and Higuain.
I mean-
Ronaldo around him has Nani and Morelos.
Yeah, I agree.
Bit of a
I agree.
difference.
Portugal are in a way a one-man team. And walking up to this podcast, the three of us in the studio here, we mentioned about. I can't remember who asked the question, but someone mentioned, are Sweden similar to Portugal in the sense
Yeah.
Sweden have Zlatan and not much else, and Portugal have Ronaldo and not much else.
Mm.
And I see the point that I think it was you,
Yeah.
Matt, made, because Zlatan Ibrahimovic is a world-class player. He hasn't got world-class
His
surroundings.
4 goals, I think every England fan will remember this.
I was trying
His
to
4
forget.
goals against us. Take those 4 goals away, we would have won 1-0.
And Ronaldo is obviously the best player in the world, as we mentioned before, but he hasn't got world-class players around him. The difference between the two sides you could say is where Sweden have Seb Larsson on the right wing as you know, I mean, really creative player. Portugal have Nani and Varela. There is a slight difference,
Yeah.
but Portugal are in decline. Take Ronaldo away, they wouldn't have been at this World
Well,
Cup.
if you look at 2006, they had like Luis Figo.
Figo,
and
Deco.
Ricardo Carvalho, Paulo
Yeah.
Ferreira. They had a really good squad then.
Yeah.
But now they're one of their centre backs who got sent off in the first game. Is probably one of their
Is
best
anyone
centre-backs.
surprised about Ghana going out? Or?
A little.
Sort of. I was very surprised before their final group game that the incidents between Montari and Boateng got brought up because they got sent home,
Yeah.
which pretty much effectively sent Ghana home as well because they still mathematically could have gone through.
But it's like Ghana have not been bad in this World Cup. They're a bit like they were really
Well.
unlucky against Germany. That was really unlucky.
They were really unlucky against Germany, and they didn't play terribly yesterday against Portugal.
USA,
The
they
first game cost them big time
yeah.
because if they'd have got a point, really, you could argue if all right, if that first game would have ended 1-1,
Mm.
wouldn't it be Portugal through? Or am I wrong? You know what I mean?
First
It was
game
that
ended
first
1-1,
game for
Portugal would have gone
USA.
through.
It was a big win for USA, and that's what's since that win, they've sort of been just scraping through. Yes, they were unlucky to only get a draw against Portugal, but win, draw, loss. I know they were playing
Yeah.
Germany, and they did play well. Only 1-0 against Germany, and Muller, what a fantastic goal.
Yeah, because in the end, USA only went through on
Yeah.
goal difference.
Yeah, USA did only go on.
Yeah,
go
Portugal
to
had a
goal
goal
difference.
difference of like -3.
But I mean,
It's probably the fashion
USA,
against Germany.
like the good thing about USA, everyone's saying like Clint Dempsey's probably one of the best. Tim Howard has been absolutely
Phenomenal.
brilliant.
He's done some
in the
ama-
World
he's done
Cup.
some- He's done some amazing saves. I mean, the game against Portugal, the one we watched.
Oh,
We know he's capable.
Unbelievable.
We know he's capable, and it was.
he's one of
phenomenal.
those that like no one talks about him because he plays for Everton. No, you don't really see him that much. He comes on the world stage and does what he's done.
I think that's just proof that when it comes to like outfield players, it's like sometimes they decline in age. When it comes to
Keepers
goalkeepers,
get better with age.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Speak
goalkeepers
to
do
Brad
get better,
Friedel
innit?
and David
Yeah.
James. And,
it's
so Germany, USA through. Who were they going to play though? That was the question. In the next round,
Then we get
Group
to-
H. And it's the sort of weak group out of the lots, considering the teams in it: Algeria, Russia, South Korea, and Belgium. 2 teams have gone through. Everyone expected Belgium to win the group, and they
Yeah.
have. 9 points out of 9. Maybe not convincing performances.
But they're doing
Done-
what big teams do in getting the wins.
Getting the
no
win
matter
when they're
what.
not
Done the
playing
job.
well.
Mm.
It's the second place that's the huge surprise.
Algeria.
Are through to the knockout round of the FA Cup for the first
FA Cup.
the World
FA
Cup.
Cup.
What? The World Cup for the
They've done
first time.
so well that they got into the FA Cup.
They become a club.
For the first time in their history, though. It's an amazing achievement.
Yeah.
And a 1-1 draw against Russia, who probably should have done a lot better
Russia were dreadful.
Yeah, they were.
There was all this talk about this Russian striker that could have performed at this World Cup, and he didn't score a single goal.
But in
I don't know,
this group in particular, is it down to Russia not playing well, so Algeria and possibly South Korea have capitalised? I know South Korea have probably finished bottom, but that middle game, Algeria beating South Korea, is what sent Algeria through.
Oh yeah, but
Yes.
I don't think you can put it down to Russia playing badly, because at the end of the day, Algeria had to turn up.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's not just
Algeria
down to-
played really well in the World Cup because they were leading against Belgium. They absolutely stuffed South Korea. They were 3-0 up after half an hour. And then
Yeah, they
against
did
Russia, they
stuff
after going behind after 6 minutes, they battled on to get the equaliser.
So
Algeria were actually pretty decent.
So as we say, Belgium and Algeria go through. I can't quite remember what we predicted. We'll have to go back over it and see.
I think we
what
went for Belgium, Russia, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, we
I
went.
think
For,
most of us went Belgium,
Yeah.
Russia.
I don't
But
think
Russia
anyone
have
went
to
Korea
improve.
or.
No, I think, yeah, we went for them.
So
Russia have to improve because they're hosting the next World Cup. They can't be the second host and not make it out of the group.
Well, he failed. Was it they failed to qualify? Was it get out of the group stage of 3 previous tournaments or World Cups?
Three World Cups in a row now. They've failed to get out of the group.
But if you think about it,
It's dreadful.
I'll mention that bit in a minute.
So the games for those two groups in the knockout stage: Germany, winners of Group G, will face the runners-up of Group H, which is Algeria. Big game for Algeria. Big test. Face the Germans on Monday, 9:00 kickoff, and on the Tuesday, also a 9:00 kickoff. Group H winners Belgium face the runners-up of Group G, USA. Maybe not such a high-profile game, but for Belgium to avoid Germany is big. Big for them. Moving on to the next group, then we're gonna go in preceding order. Group E, and top spot was already wrapped up. France were always going to win the group from that point.
I think France have been really good in this World Cup so far.
But Switzerland, maybe people expected them to finish second, but they pulled it out the bag. Big 3-0 win over Honduras. A dirty tackling Honduras, as we saw.
We're not devastated. They're
But
out.
Shaqiri, what a performance in that game, and what a good goal. And Switzerland will go through. We're not going to talk about his group too much because there wasn't much to say. As we say, it was expected. After Switzerland beat Ecuador, you expected them to go on and finish second.
Ecuador, when you look at the performance they had against France, it ended 0-0. It weren't the greatest of games, but apart from Antonio Valencia being sent off, they were a threat. They were a threat. The Benzema and all this could not get past.
Benzema didn't really get into the game against Ecuador.
No, he didn't.
He had two amazing performances before that.
But was that due to France knowing they were through? They only needed a point to top the group. The performance wasn't there.
To be honest, it did look like that because where France were playing, it just like they didn't really have any eagerness to try and really get through, to try and score a goal.
So Group F was where it all happened, really.
Ooh, yes.
We'll start with the game that didn't seem like it was going to be important, but turned out to be very important. Bosnia beat Iran 3-1. Bosnia have been a huge disappointment, you could say, for this World Cup because we all expected a lot better from Bosnia.
The good thing for Bosnia, though, is that they're a side, nothing could go wrong for them. If they didn't do well, it's their first World Cup. They get out of the group stage, though.
Yeah, there is that point, but this is a side that have topped their qualification group. You know what I mean? They won their qualification group. Against Argentina, they were really unlucky, I believe.
Yeah.
They were the better side in that game, just Messi took his chance.
I think against Nigeria, they were terrible.
I'd say, maybe performance-wise they were terrible, but didn't Dzeko hit the bar and the post? Chances-wise, they were unlucky. And against Iran, they pulled the result out.
True, but then, you can say, they were unlucky with their chances and everything. At the end of the day, that was always going to end a draw for Bosnia because their defence was dreadful in that game. They were letting everything slip, and to be honest with you,
it was Odemwingi's goal that got the 1-0 victory, and it was a big result, which meant going into the final game, if Bosnia beat Iran, as they did, Nigeria would be through. no matter what. So Nigeria and Argentina are through, but what a good game between the two sides that have gone through.
Messi proved. For me, I've always said a legend is made for how well they do for their country and club.
I wouldn't say he's proved it just yet.
Not yet.
Let's see how the
But
tournament
he's
goes
getting
on.
there. He's
Yeah.
getting there now.
He's warming up as well. That's
Yeah.
what's scary. In the first 2 games, he hasn't really played well. Against Nigeria, he was showing signs of that class. He's warming up.
But you said when we was watching, I think we was watching that game. You said, Carl, that if he wins the World Cup with Argentina now, he's better than Maradona.
Yeah, I believe he'll be better
I
than
think
Maradona.
that's fair. I think it's a fair.
His,
argument.
his club records are better than Maradona's ever done, close to what Pele's done. You know what I mean? His club record at Barcelona. All he needs is to do it on a world stage and World Cup. And I said before the tournament, before it was Messi in Argentina this year, I hate to be that guy, you know.
We were being that guy.
But it's all turning up, Kyle. But yeah, we knew it was going to be an amazing game after the first 4 minutes in that game.
Well, 2 goals. Yeah.
You know, Messi scores the free kick.
Oh, I was always thinking like there had been so many free kicks in this World Cup that had been just over, crossbar and
Pirlo with the bar. And
you're just thinking one of these free kicks is going to go in and it's going to be a great one, and that was just.
See, the thing is, it was a superb free kick, but am I the only
Just
one?
before it, there was a similar free kick. Which
And the
Yeah,
keeper kept
saved
there brilliantly.
so well.
And am I the only one that thought the keeper sort of just gave up on it?
No. At the end of the day, the keeper made the tiniest mistake that cost him not saving that, and that is when he's footing, one of his feet were too far behind him, which means he can't jump far enough.
Right. This is the goalkeeping experience of Matt Downey.
Which means that ball is always going in the back of the
yeah.
net the further we get to
We
the
have England's
corner.
future number 1 on the line.
So, in the knockout stages, Monday, France face Nigeria, which realistically is a good draw for France.
It's a good draw for France, but Nigeria aren't the pushover as we've seen.
Nigeria aren't a pushover. And again, possibly a good draw for Argentina, although Switzerland, who they will face on the Tuesday, aren't a pushover. But Argentina, if they beat Switzerland, I'm sure that they don't get they may not. I'm sure it's Chile. They could possibly get in the next round if Chile beat.
No.
No, in the Argentina-Switzerland bracket, they'll face the winner of Belgium-USA.
Right, and then after that, I'm sure it's
Then
possibly a Chile or
no,
something
they
like
could
that.
face
No.
Holland.
In their last 16 pairings, it's Holland, Mexico, Costa Rica, Greece, Argentina, Switzerland, Belgium, USA.
Right.
That's that bracket,
think
and then the other brackets everyone
Argentina have probably one of the best routes to the
Well,
final.
that's the point I was trying to make. They have a good route. I believe they'll be the winners.
Although you
Groups-
say they've got a good route, if they get through the semi-final, if Argentina get to the semi-finals and everything goes right, they could face Holland in the semi-final. Now, that would be a game.
That'll be a great game. And in fairness, there's no easy routes in the World Cup.
Oh God,
No.
no! I mean, every team that's been in this World Cup. I mean, there's only one reason why you get here, and
'cause
that's
you're
by
good
playing well. Yeah.
So Group C, and it's again it's a weaker sort of group: Greece, Ivory Coast, Japan, Colombia. But Colombia have surprised everyone.
I
Again-
thought.
Well,
again,
I
it was
didn't
a
expect them to do this well.
Well done
Didn't surprise me.
well, yeah. Fair. Stuart did say they
Yeah.
topped the group. Well done, Stuart.
Yeah.
I did
They
say.
have topped the group, a 4-1 win over Japan, and they literally destroyed them. But the headlines wasn't in that game because Colombia were already through. The headlines was in the Greece-Ivory Coast game.
Oh my God!
It was it was a fabulous game. In fairness, Greece
How do Greece do it every?
they pulled it out the bag. In fairness, they did play well, and they attacked.
I watched the game, and Yaya Toure in the 90th minute had the ideal opportunity to do what every experienced footballer knows: go in the corner flag, waste time. What does he do? Gives the ball to the keeper, counter-attack, penalty. There you go.
It's very true. It is very true. Counter-attack penalty, 90th minute.
I'm not
you know.
gonna lie. When Yaya Toure done that, I would have said, yeah, okay, that's bad and everything. But knowing me, I would have said, I'm fed up of people standing in the corner. I always say it, and then like that happens. So,
Yeah, but it's
I
you
understand.
play to win, don't you?
You play to win. I know.
If that was
I know.
England and it was Daniel Sturridge or Danny Welbeck and he gave the ball away and conceded the last minute goal.
Hey, Welbeck doesn't make mistakes. I thought we established this.
All right. Yes.
He doesn't play enough to make mistakes.
So Group C, Colombia topped the group and Greece have snuck in second place. Group D, which was England's group. We will speak about England in particular after we've gone through the groups, because it's going to obviously be a subject of its own.
The biggest shock probably of this World Cup.
Costa Rica have got to be the biggest shock of this World Cup. They have topped Group C.
Unbeaten.
A group with 3 former world champions. It's a fabulous performance from the Costa Ricans.
It's amazing. I mean, they will see the...
To beat Italy. Do you know?
Yeah, they beat Italy convincingly.
But Italy, didn't play...
Italy were atrocious.
Yeah, they were.
But the headlines was in the other game. We've mentioned Suarez. We won't talk about the biting incident.
We've gone through...
But a minute after that incident, Diego Godin scored, 81st minute, and Uruguay have snuck through.
Great.
They played dreadful against Costa Rica in the first game, lost 3-1, and I thought, how is this team going to get through? And
I genuinely thought after Italy beat England that Italy were going through to top the group. I didn't expect Costa Rica to go through. I expect them to lose against Italy and England.
Yeah, it's just like they
On the subject of Italy, after they've been dumped out the group stage, their managers resigned.
Yeah, Prandelli has resigned.
Prandelli resigned.
I was reading the news article this morning on the Italian newspapers and all this, and it actually said, before the World Cup, the former Italian manager now said, if I don't get out of the group stage with this team, I will resign.
And he has, in fairness to him. He has.
He's stuck with his word.
It seems that the favourite for the job is former City boss Roberto Mancini.
That's a good...
That'd be great.
Interesting move.
Who's the one guy that can get the best out of Balotelli?
That's a good point.
Roberto Mancini.
No.
Scary to think.
No.
So
I agree with that.
Okay, go.
He's got a bad relationship with the guy.
yeah, but on the
I don't
pitch,
think
who
it's
gets the
ended
best
City.
out of him?
Yeah,
At City, he did
yeah.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Although he's doing well at Milan, in fairness, say that. So yeah, England and Italy drop out. We will speak about England as we said. Italy shockingly drop out. Costa Rica shockingly go through.
Stupid shocks.
On Saturday, 9:00 kickoff, Colombia face Uruguay. That's going to be a fantastic footballing game.
Yeah.
The following day, and this is why winning this group would have been hugely important to an Italy, England or Uruguay. They face Greece. What an opportunity for Costa Rica to get themselves, or maybe for Greece to get themselves in the last
I
eight.
do see
records
Costa
has to
Rica.
be broken in that game.
Well-
Because either side, they've not got past the
Yeah,
last 16.
it's amazing to think. If we'd have said before the tournament, a Costa Rica or a Greece would be in the last
They were
eight
two-
of the World Cup.
What was it we said? Was like they'd be the whipping boys, and then we found out we were the
whipping boys. Yeah.
But like,
We will let's not get onto that
before
just
the
yet.
World Cup, Costa Rica were 250 to 1 to win it, yeah?
Mm.
Now they're 66 to 1.
Oh, no pun intended with 66, right?
Yeah, but you can argue before the
But
World
they've got better.
But you can argue before the World Cup we were 26 to 1.
They've got better odds than
Will we?
Mexico.
But what a fabulous performance in all three games, even against England, by Campbell up front, Joel Campbell. He's been...
Hot property for this summer.
You've got to say, he's probably forced his way into Arsene Wenger's Arsenal squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he puts him out on loan again, he's in the deal.
Is it? Yeah, definitely. Although Group A was played later on than Group B, we will start with Group B. Australia were thumped by Spain. Both sides not really... Well, both sides were out at this point, so
Yeah.
it wasn't playing
Playing
for
for
much.
pride.
Playing for pride, and Spain finally turned up.
Well,
That's a
they
good
make
result.
how many changes? They made like...
Yeah, Mata scored, I know that, and as did David Villa.
I
David Villa is the story, though.
Fernando Torres scored.
Fernando Torres did score.
We'll
Yeah,
don't
sure.
really
Not
want to
David
talk
Villa,
about
eh?
it.
What?
David Villa is the big story because it's his final international game for Spain. After this game, it was
Yeah.
international retirement. And the story is, the manager didn't know, he'd forgot that it was his final game. And he just brought him off as a normal sub, and Villa's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
but
afterwards, the manager was mentioning it to him. I was like, oh, it was David Villa's final game. He's been a great servant. I forgot it was his final game. Come on.
To be honest, give him... You know, the guy...
I know he's a bit of under stress, but it's really unprofessional.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is it the final time we'll see him in charge of Spain?
No.
No.
You
I
reckon?
think-
He's got two European Championships and the World Cup under
Yeah.
his belt.
They're
If
giving-
you let that kind of manager go, that's
Yeah.
going to be very strange.
I think if they're going to do anything, they're going to give him for the Euros. and if they do as bad as they are in Euros, then they get rid of him.
No, I think I can see him leaving after the Euros. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
He's about 76. He's quite old.
I don't think he's that old. He might look that old, but I don't think he's quite that old.
But he's getting there.
He's getting there, you're right. It's the other game. Both sides were through. Holland faced Chile in what everyone was expecting to be a fabulous game. It was a very good game. Holland pulled out the 2-0 result, which is a good win for them.
Yeah.
Very good win.
I can see him going far again.
Possibly.
Robin.
Possibly Holland will be the surprise package because,
Mm.
I mean, I predicted they wouldn't get out of the group.
Yeah, I did as well.
I thought Spain and
they would
Chile.
struggle.
I expected Chile to be as good as they have been.
Yeah.
I expected Spain to be a lot better, as we've mentioned. I didn't expect Holland to get out of the group. And it means that the first...
I expected Holland.
You were to go top though.
I said Holland would go through. I can't remember which one I
Yeah.
said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can't be like totally.
Moving on. And Group A, the hosts Brazil were in it, and after a couple of bad performances, they finally got the wheels turning against a very poor Cameroon side.
I tell you what,
Yeah, I'm not.
Messi's had a good tournament. Neymar has
Neymar's
been
having a good
unbelievable.
tournament.
I think he's,
Four goals against Cameroon. Not Neymar in particular, but they got 4 goals.
Yeah.
Brazil did. 4-1 win. They finished top of the group, which means they played Chile in the first knockout game of the World Cup. That is going to be a fabulous... That's a tough game for Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, haven't you got like a? Apparently they've got a good record against them, but it's like they.
Well, they do play each other often in South American football. That's the thing. But
Mm.
Brazil haven't been in a qualification group this time, so they haven't played Chile really in a competitive game
for like a year, 2
for a
years.
few years. Yeah, Chile. I think if Brazil don't turn up like they can,
Chile could.
Chile
them
will
over.
beat them.
It's mainly about Brazil, and this is, in my opinion, why, Brazil could do well in this World Cup. They have so many options on how to play in the game. Like, it proved it with Brazil's last goal, Fernandinho, the passing movement. Yeah, Spain do that all the time, and they've been figured out. That's why they're out of the group,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Brazil, that don't work. Let's try this one.
Right.
They can move around. And
You are right. You are right.
That is
So
why-
Brazil faced Chile, and it was in the other game that it was basically a straight shoot-off, wasn't it? To see who goes through Croatia, Mexico, and Mexico have pulled the result out again.
Mexico are that team. They're just that team. They can
That
do it.
and obviously, if you haven't worked it out as you're listening along, they will face Holland, the one left in the knockout stage, and that's going to be a tough game for the Dutch. I know they've pulled out results, but
But Mexico
will be a tough little game.
Mexico will always get to the knockout stages, and then every time, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they've always lost like 1-0 or by penalties. They're not a team that lose by like 4-0.
It will be a tough game. So I'm going to run the sides that are left in the competition: Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Uruguay, Holland, Mexico, Costa Rica, Greece, France, Nigeria, Germany, Algeria, Argentina, Switzerland, and Belgium, USA. Does anyone want to change their pick for the winner?
I'm still going Brazil,
Stuart?
even though I've got a bet on Belgium. But
I'm changing my final prediction because I said Brazil-Germany final, but they're in the same bracket together. I'm going to go Brazil-Holland final.
But you still think Brazil will win this?
I still think Brazil will win it. Ask me again after the quarter-final.
I'm starting to go for the Netherlands.
Are you?
To be honest, I've seen like most of the games and
my dark,
Ian Robins' performances have been.
They beast.
my dark horse though, I'm going for France.
France could be a dark horse. Very true.
Benzema is a dark horse for the Golden Boot.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
been unbelievable in those feats.
Well, this is a prediction I want to do today because it is our last show. By the way, I will stick with my Argentina pick. Golden Boot. Now that we know who's in form and who's getting a few goals, predictions, who is going to get that trophy?
Neymar.
I agree. Neymar.
I'm going to go Benzema.
I'm going to stick with Messi just because I think he'll go further than Neymar.
Fair enough.
It's the only thing I think that will cost Neymar is if Brazil do go out against Chile.
Yeah.
Messi and possibly Benzema or Thomas Muller at Germany, no one's mentioned, will probably... Muller and Messi in particular, I think they'll play more games than Neymar. Because I think Germany and Argentina will get further than Brazil. It's just a shout.
What about predictions for these games?
You want to do the group games? Okay.
Yeah.
Brazil,
Yeah.
Chile, first game.
Do you want to go first? We'll
Start
go
with Stuart.
round and then Matt next.
Score or just who do you think's going to win?
No. Who?
Score prediction.
Score actually. Yeah.
2-1 Brazil.
Matt, Danny.
2-1 Brazil.
Oh, man. Okay, 2-2-1's Brazil.
3-1 Brazil.
Oh, it just had to be different.
I thought that was you, Carl. I knew always,
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
I knew always the one that sort of.
I'm going to go Brazil win on penalties.
Really?
Because I think Chile could take them. And
Okay.
half me wants to go for Chile in that situation. Trust me.
To be honest, I thought you were. Because you had
I'm
that sort
tempted.
Yeah.
I'll move on. Colombia, Uruguay. Stuart.
of Uruguay. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Colombia win.
Matt Ty.
2-0 Colombia.
I'm gonna go for a 2-1 extra time win for Colombia.
And I'm going to go for a 3-1 drubbing for Colombia to beat Uruguay. It's going to be a drubbing. Suarez, no Suarez, it's going to be a drubbing. Moving on quickly, Holland, Mexico. It's gonna be a good game, Stuart.
I'm just going to put 3-1 Netherlands.
1-0 Holland.
I'm gonna go out on the limit for 4-0 Holland.
Would you say would you have to explain that or just?
Because I just think
Yeah,
Holland might
I'm
have the
actually
firepower
with
here.
Matt.
I
I'm going
think
4-1 Holland. I've got a
think-
sneaky feeling.
Because I know I said
Fair
Mexico have always had a good record in the
Their
only
defence
just
is terrible.
missing. But
That's
they
the
have
thing.
I was going to say,
conceded a lot.
I was going to say 2 minutes ago, when Mexico loses only by 1 goal or penalties, so I'm going to put them to lose 4-0.
I think Holland have got the firepower to get.
Yeah,
past.
but from the games we saw, the Mexican defence has been pretty shocking this tournament so far. So I agree, 4-1 Holland. I go Costa Rica, Greece, the two babies in the knockout stage. You know,
Go on, Stu.
2-0 Costa Rica.
Matt Ty?
3-1 Costa Rica.
1-0 Costa Rica.
I agree with Stu. 2-0 routine win, I think, for Costa Rica there.
Does-
And the dark horse is next, France, Nigeria.
Hang on, you mean France the dark horses,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I didn't get. I don't think anyone would have got that if you didn't explain it. I mean,
Okay, France, Nigeria.
2-1 France.
France to win on penalties.
2-0 France.
I'm going to go 3-0 France. I don't know where you're getting these penalties from, that, but
No, because
The penalties during the game.
I watched the Nigeria-Argentina match, and they did. Yes, they conceded 3 goals, but they did set up really, really well. And when Messi did go off, Argentina failed to score for half an hour.
yeah.
Matt,
They
did
did set up well.
Matt, did you say Germany? I thought you said-
Nigeria-Argentina.
No, I thought you said Germany.
But
from
we
the-
will speak about Germany now. Germany, Algeria.
Journey 3-0.
3. Are you sure?
Yeah, but
Final
sure.
answer.
No, yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Matt Ty.
3-1 Germany.
4-1 Germany.
3-1 Germany sounds good to me. Argentina, Switzerland. So we'll go. So I want Stuart's predictions for the winner game. You know, because you know Argentina are going to win this.
Yeah.
If-
3-1.
3-1 to the Argentina.
Yep.
Matt Ty.
I don't want to say 2-1 Switzerland so badly, but it's going to be 2-1 Argentina.
1-0 Messi gets the winner.
3-0 Messi hat-trick. Come on, bring it on. And the final qualification, the final knockout game even. Belgium-USA. Stuart.
That's such a sick game.
Belgium to win in extra time. 2-1.
Matt Ty?
I'm just thinking because Belgium haven't really performed yet, and USA have done well.
But Belgium play at the results. That's the difference, I think.
That's why I've gone for the extra
Yeah.
time because I think they just nick it.
Yeah, I think they'll just nick it. Probably extra time, 1-0 Belgium.
Matt Thowney.
3-1 Belgium.
Oh,
Oh,
Well, you have no.
he's
Yeah,
on it today.
that's a bit harsh on USA there, a bit.
I
It is,
I
but-
agree with Stu again. I think it may be a 2-1. I can see USA scoring,
Mm.
but I can see Belgium pulling the result out. It has the makings of a fantastic
Yeah.
one.
If that turns out to be rubbish game.
Oh,
Oh, steady.
Um,
You're live on Arcade Football Podcast. Please do not swear.
that's usually my thing. And now
Where's the jar for the where's
Yeah.
the swear jar?
so
that's for next season.
We've got fives in there now.
so we all agree it has the makings of a fantastic World Cup.
Yeah.
We have to talk about England. For some reason, we kind of have to. And before we start, I just want to say, because I'm pretty sure, I mean, I don't know Matt Tyer's personal opinions, we haven't saw him for a few weeks, but I know the guys in the studio, we're upbeat. We're not going to be negative like some of the coverage we saw on certain TV stations, which we're not going to mention.
I think it's been so bad that Costa Rica haven't got enough credit for how much
It's
they've
been
done.
terrible.
Like,
Before we do, just Matt Tyer's opinions. Has it been a bad World Cup for England, or is it just result-wise?
I would say this is probably our best worst performance.
yeah,
I understand.
Because yes, we failed to get out of the group, but looking at it, we've got some raw young talent in the likes of Sterling, Barkley, and Shaw, who've now got a bit more experience on the international stage. We played well. Rooney's finally got his World Cup goal, and Sturridge certainly looks like the one to lead the line. So I certainly say, come the Euros, we'll have certainly a much better squad.
See, I think we're at the situation in terms of the Euros where we've got to go for it at the Euros. We've got to say we're going to win this, because there's only so long you can go, yes, we've got good youth coming through. We've been saying it since Euro 2008.
I think this is the first time since, when I started watching World Cups and the Euros, this is the first one I can remember where I can actually probably say we can win it. We can actually win it.
I think we have to believe in it, because
we say it, but
there's only so many times you can go, this isn't our tournament, we just need to prepare them. And
we
need
can't
to bring the youth in.
constantly do a Liverpool. They'll go, oh, next time's ours. We're going to have to on it.
He's got a point. We do it all the time.
2010 we did well. Actually, to be fair, 2010 was the last time we really went for it. But it's been 2 tournaments since Euro 2012, and now this World Cup. And I agree, for this World Cup, it wasn't our time. We had to bring the youth through. 2012 and the 2016 even, and the 2018 World Cup, we have to go for it. Or else
I think we can only challenge for it properly, like in 2016 and 2018, if we keep Roy. There is no point keeping Roy, but then getting rid of him after a few bad performances.
I don't know about the World Cup.
Building up to it.
I never got why that was like. That was seeing people like I was like seeing on Facebook and online. It was
Roy out.
Yeah, it was like I don't get that.
Roy Hodgson has done
so
well.
He's done a great job for us. And I don't see he doesn't deserve to quit Sesame again.
I believe he'll be in charge for 2016. I think the FA have confirmed that.
Well,
I don't know
FA
about the World
he'll
Cup.
be in charge until 2016. The World Cup is unknown. It depends on.
I think he may well, because it would be his 4th tournament. That would World Cup be his 4th international tournament for England. I don't know whether he will be in charge for that. It depends on what English, maybe not English, what young coaches are coming through at that point. You don't know what's going to happen. It's 4 years away, so we'll find out.
It's a shell.
But the FA have said, I think it was Greg Dyke has said, he believes that England have a realistic chance of winning the 2022 World Cup.
See, I think that's too far away.
No,
I don't
that's
think
too
That is too far away. We've got to challenge for something now, otherwise we're just going to become a laughing stock of people going, oh, it's England, they're not going to
It's not that we're going to become the laughing stock, but by 2022, will the people like the Sterlings and the Sturridges
They'll be
really
late.
going to be...
They'll be late.
That's 8 years away.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure on Sturridge's age, but he'll be in his 32, 33s at that point, surely.
He probably won't be playing by it, like playing for
If he is, he'll be in the Gerrard Lampard role. It's a big risk. I think we've got to go for it.
I think he might change the goal just because purely for the fact that when we're going into this, did anyone really expect us to play that well?
No.
So I think performance-wise, we've played really well.
But,
maybe not the last game. I thought we were a bit dour and disappointing. But the first 2, I thought we played really well.
Yeah.
We were just unlucky.
Like I said to you two and Matt and nobody say this, but I think Costa Rica haven't got the credit they deserve. They've played brilliantly, like we've talked about, and all Gary Lineker, Adrian Charles, all they could talk about was
No.
England are out. Oh, we can spend
And
half
he
an
had-
hour talking about England.
Then they had
no.
that. Then they had that. Was it montage?
Montage,
Right at the
yeah.
end, just like someone has sadly passed away or something.
Yeah.
See, the problem is, I can understand why they're being told they have to speak about England, because if you're a casual football fan, and a lot of casual football fans watch the World Cup, and especially England games, if they're seeing Lineker or Charles or someone else speaking about Costa Rica have done really well, look how Costa Rica did this, they're going to change channel.
True, but I'm fed up of seeing
I understand your point.
that
I agree.
England are out and Costa Rica. When Costa Rica confirmed it, all right, there was no need to really talk about it. We got to, let's say, the Argentine-Nigeria game. What did we do? Oh, we'll do a little report on how England went out, even though it happened a week ago.
It was two.
Yeah.
Weren't they two talking about it yesterday?
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about it now, but it's been our first chance to, in defence, just saying.
Yes. It's not a dig against us. It's just like.
See, I understand what you mean, Matt. I do. I just think that's more business-wise than football-wise.
Yeah.
But it's going to get to the point. What gets me is, before the tournament started, Lineker, Charles, BBC, ITV, whatnot, they were all, maybe this won't be England's year, as everyone was saying, and it's all about performances. Now that we've gone out, they've gone, oh, no, it's about the results. Been our worst World Cup. Yes, results-wise, maybe on paper. But performance-wise, it's probably been our best one since maybe 2006, 2002.
2002.
Yeah. I mean,
It's been our best international tournament.
It's the first time since I've been watching England to actually, was it after England being knocked out of a World Cup, to not actually be really depressed and unhappy. I'm actually like, wow, I'm actually upbeat and actually might actually start watching
The
England a bit more.
future's bright. The future's bright. Got to keep a hold of that.
I think our main man for the future, one of our main ones for the future, Ross Barkley. He looks so good on the ball, and he threatened Italy so much.
Yeah, he has potential that in a couple of years he
And
could be
that
amazing.
hurts Stuart to say that, considering he's an Evertonian.
Not
Mr.
really.
Barkley. You
I
know.
was
Not
really
really.
impressed with Sterling. He gave the Italian defence so many issues.
Who
I
was
was
it?
really
The one
impressed
that
with him.
played on Sterling's side that he gave a lot of bother.
Chiellini.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Cellini. Yeah.
Chiellini, yeah.
Yeah, no, he
Yes.
gave him so much bother in that game.
Sterling
Maybe-
was certainly hungry to take him on.
Maybe that's why Suarez did it. You know, he's like backing up his teammate.
But
Really.
do you
Yeah,
think
that's
that's
what he was,
do you think that's something that Rooney lost? Because he
I
played so
th-
much
see-
for England that he become aware.
I think England's problem in the second game, Rooney had to play in the central because of the fans and the media.
Yeah.
Hodgson had to play him in the centre, but in terms of tactics-wise, Sterling would have been better. That's the problem. Fans and media have got involved too much. If Hodgson played
Again.
Sterling in the centre and we'd have lost unluckily like we did 2-1, fans, I know they were calling for his head anyway, but there would have been a huge media sort of.
That's the
I don't know.
best.
They just would have. It would have been really difficult.
That's
for
why I think why it's going to be. We've got the weirdest media ever. When
Yeah, with our media, I don't think we'll ever win a World Cup.
I would agree.
I
The
think our
thing
media
is,
plays
with
Put
our
too much
media,
pressure on us.
we have a bit of a problem that if England are playing soon or have just played kind of thing, if there's nothing to talk about, we look at the negative side of England. We've got to really stop doing that
I
because
think-
it puts down the players.
It does.
Rumours
It's
start.
on the other side.
It's not just football.
It
That's
sells
just,
papers.
It
That's
sells,
your problem.
Yes, it sells
It's not-
papers. That's not good, is it?
that's not just a
it's
football.
business.
That's not just a
Yeah.
football thing. No, a negative aspect.
it's-
It's an English thing.
It's a human thing. In
Yeah,
fairness.
it
Yeah.
does. Bad news sells papers. That's the
Bad
way it
news
is.
sells papers, indeed. So that's England spoke about. We don't want to speak about that
before-
anymore.
Just one quick thing. Now that Rooney's got his World Cup goal, do you think he'll play in the next World Cup?
I think he'll go. I don't know if he'll start.
He'll be 32 then.
It probably.
It depends on the seasons
Yeah,
he's
he'll
had
go.
since then.
Yeah,
He'll
he'll
go.
go.
I think he might
As a
have
backup striker.
I think he'll have a similar world that Lampard had in this World Cup. You know,
I
sort of he'll be
I
there.
think it
and then-
depends on the seasons he has at United, because 32 isn't actually that old.
Isn't that old? But Ricky Lambert is that
Well,
age
that's what I
and he
mean.
didn't play.
Yeah, but Ricky Lambert has been playing for Southampton and not a Man United. With all due
Hey,
respect,
hey.
you know what I mean.
He's got
So-
he's got a point though.
So I'm sad to say this, as we mentioned, this is our final show. Get the tissues. Final show of the summer. By the way, we will be back. Don't
Yeah,
worry
yeah.
about
No, we
that.
get this. We get this.
You can't get rid of us that easily. Yeah, so we will be back possibly October time, we believe.
Yeah.
But you can keep up to date with us. We're not going completely, don't worry. We've got a blog running, the RK Football blog. I know Matt in the studio has got the full address.
The address is www.rkfootballtalk.wordpress.com.
So that address again, www.rkfootballtalk.wordpress.com. Get your pens, write that down, because we will be blogging daily. Match reports, opinion reports, all pre-season news.
All banter on there as well. Don't worry.
We are planning a big prediction preview column for the start of the season.
Yeah.
This is us informing Matt, by the way.
Yeah.
And we will have our new writer as well, we believe. There will be
Graham
us
Eyre.
four, Graham Eyre, a new writer, possibly more if we can
Yeah.
sort transfers out, get the deals done, one packet of Monster Munch. But yeah, you can keep up to date with us there. We will be back October sometime. It's been my pleasure. I'm sure it's been all of yours too.
Thanks very much, everyone, for listening in.
I'd like to thank Stuart and Matt on the phone for joining us today. I've been Carl Dixon. It's been the RK Football Podcast. We will be back in the summer. I really, really, really hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.